Yolanda Wallace. I'm the executive director of Mothers War on Violence.
What inspired you to create the organization?
I was inspired to create the organization because I lost my son in 2006 to gun violence, and I had started a memorial garden named after him, but I felt the need to start an intervention and prevention program, and that's when I started Mothers War on Violence.
So, what is the mission statement within the organization?
Our mission, Mothers War on Violence mission, is to tear down strongholds in the family to stop violence. That is our mission. And we believe that we can do that by through the podcast, through advocacy, through mentoring programs and partnering with other mentoring organizations. Like we partnered with Big Brother Big Sister before. We partner with uh, just different organizations, and we also have a close-knit coalition where we're building a coalition of organizations who actually deal with trauma and some of our underserved people in our community. So that's our mission, and we partner with the Peoria Police Department, and the Sheriff's Department. So we just constantly trying to collaborate our efforts to stop violence.
Yeah, what are some of the things you do within the organization?
We address from the support group. We address some issues that the people were from the group were having, and there's some of their concerns. And one of the things was the unsolved murders in the city, and so we had some families because it was a grief group, right? And so we started playing cards for unsolved murders, and we got signed photo release forms so that we could, get to them and, use their pictures for the playing cards to heighten the awareness and merge with the Who Killed Me poster campaign that I started back when I started a memorial garden, which is called the John Buckley Memorial Garden, named after my son. And then the other thing we addressed is advocacy in the courtroom. So sometimes the people they have when they're going to trial, those who've made it to trial, um, and when they have somebody, they have not had enough people who really know exactly what they're going through. So that's been a big concern. And so we do advocacy in the courtroom. Whenever, a family member contacts us and stuff. And then we also do rewards cards to heighten the awareness that these, you know, for those murders that are unsolved, that we have rewards cards to help with any information, to call Crime Stoppers or tip 411. And then we have mentoring programs, pop-up mentoring program events, Tea with Queens, Talk with Kings, and it's just an event over dinner or lunch, brunch, and they're just having a meal, and the older women are speakers, and we have younger women mostly in the audience, and some older ones too, but um, and it's just a collaboration of different intervention and prevention things that we, pinpointed. And then we also have Crime Victims' Rights Day, which is a day that's put aside during the National Crime Victims' Rights Week. And we have a day set aside just to have a panel discussion with people in our city, and it's part of the OVC, um, uh, uh, you know, uh, national program for victim services. And we have a panel discussion. Most times it's with the police department, the chief of police, and then some agencies and what kind of advocacy programs that we have. And then we just open it up to the community where people can ask questions. Along with that, they're asking questions about crime victims' rights compensation, and knowing what their rights are as a victim of a crime. So we're excited.
Can you tell me a little bit about your son?
He was 20 years old, and he was signed up for the Navy Delay program, and he was doing his drills, getting ready to deploy, and he was shot and killed before his departure. So he got killed September 20th, and then he was supposed to deploy in October, which is really this month now, and he was killed before he went. So
And how does the organization help your own healing process?
by giving back. By giving back to my community, by educating my community on survivors. And most of the people I try to target are survivors or people. It doesn't necessarily have to be mothers, but when you talk about support group, it's mostly mothers that show up. So we have a few fathers, but it's mostly mothers that are showing up with their concerns. And so just giving back to them, and having trainings that teach them about, grief and grieving, and what those steps of that is, and, the denial, and all that is part of the support group. And so it's kind of umbrellaed under Mother's War on Violence.
What do you do to help your own mental health?
Trainings. I journal. I do a lot of writing. I write in the local newspapers. And giving, like I said, giving back to my community and to the mothers mostly that we have, and our families. It keeps me busy, and it also helps me to know that there's a purpose through my pain. Speaking of which, we also have a Purpose Through Pain event that is our fundraiser. So that's how we mostly are ran by donations. We got our first grant earlier this year, and we've only been in existence for 2 years. So it's coming along.
And I think one of the ways to amplify voices is podcasts. And you
Exactly.
have your own. Can
Of
you
course,
tell
I
me
have a
about that?
podcast as well. I have a podcast as well, and I'm excited to be able to get the word out and to share and bring the community to us. So on my podcast, I invite several different organizations, the police department, the sheriff department, Center for Prevention of Abuse, all the resources that we need to help us. And then some survivors of breast cancer, some survivors of trauma, some clinicians, have them on there as well. And they talk about healthy ways of taking care of ourselves and things like that. So, I'm excited about it. I mean, because it really, like I said, it gives me purpose through my pain. And as well as helping other people so that they know that they can make purpose out of their pain as well. So I encourage them.
Where do you want to see your mission, say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
Uh, I want to see it still growing and flourishing. And of course, when you first start something, you have small volunteers, which I am. I'm a volunteer, and so I like to see it growing where we have more volunteerism and more engagement in the community. And as we continue to grow, which we are, even with our podcast, we have 46, I think, podcasts now. and it's doing pretty good. We have about 1,000 listeners a month, so it's pretty good for a start. So I can't
Right.
complain, and I would like to see it continue to grow, where it's more able to do more things in our community. So the fundraising that we do are to help with more programming in this area, and to uplift the survivors. I think that sometimes after this has happened, people tend to forget that the survivors are still here. The reason why is that sometimes people being, especially when you talk about gun violence, sometimes they're, things happen where their kids tend to feel like, well, nobody cares about me, and so why should I care about them? And sometimes those cases can be reversed. Instead of them being the victim, and they can be the person committing crimes.
So how can people reach out and learn more?
We have a Facebook page, and it's Mother's War on Violence, and we also um, we have an address, a location. It's at 1215 North Sheridan Road in Peoria, Illinois, 61606. And they can contact us that way, or they can email us at mwavm@yahoo.com for further information.